All right, here we go. I already got it started, but in this particular case, we're talking about holiday, like the ski passes, and how much they sell for each. And then we're told that for every $2 in drop in price, we sell 50 additional passes compared to the 800, which makes sense. If you make something cheaper, you're probably going to sell more of them. So your task was this doesn't matter, this order doesn't matter. If you put passes first, then price, you're going to get the same. But your profit for the first instance would be this, okay? Then you drop $2 in price, you sell an additional 50. So this would be 58 times 850. Then it's $56, you sell an extra 50 compared to before. So that would be 56 times 900. Okay. I'll show you a little trick here. I don't know if you want to use it or not, but if you go to Calc, Edit, right, and you can go 60 into that cell, 60 times 800, and then you just copy down the 4800. It does it for you. It's like an Excel spreadsheet, right? And so I did that already, 49,300, and this is 50,400. The only downside is if it's decimals that you're getting here, you got to look down here, okay? Because this will be rounded. You need to look at the actual cell. So as you go through it, it will tell you what the actual decimals are. Anyway, so you get a mark for this table, okay? 1 mark for that. And it says, watch what it's asking. So normally I've asked you for A, B, C, D, all of these different questions, right? In this case, it just says, what price should he charge to maximize the revenue? What price should you charge? Because it's asking for price, it would make most sense to put this into L1, the price, and of course this goes into L2, right? So this is my X and my Y. Then I go stat, calc, quadratic regression. And let's go ahead and see what that works out to be. Okay, 1, 2, alpha trace, y1. So that's what you want to make. You make sure you remember this part. Okay, so some of you might have to tell yourself L1, L2, y1 to remind yourself, like that's what I'm expecting. I wouldn't require that, but anyways, here we go. You're supposed to get negative 25x squared plus 2300x. Okay. That is, hold on, that is if your table is exactly like mine. If you made a mistake on your table, go -1, but then you get a full mark for this, whatever you got. If you put this into L1, the passes, do I have that equation? Did I make a mistake or what? Oh my, okay. I have a slightly different key. It's a slightly different version, so I have to be careful. But this is what you're supposed to get. In this case, if you put passes into L1, anybody do that? Passes into L1? You're going to have a different equation. It doesn't matter. You're still okay. Okay. For that equation, I give you 1. And now I need to figure out how to get the maximum profit. So here we go. I will try to graph it. That doesn't help me. So I'm going to try zoom stat. So I'm going to go y equals, turn on plot 1, press zoom, select zoom, press 9 or select it. So I'm getting this part. Remember, you're going to go to the window immediately, x min go -5 or something like that. Y min, I'm going to go -5 as well. And try it again. Much better. Right now you see the y-axis, you see the x-axis. So now I just need to focus on y max and x max. So y max, I'm going to go 75,000. Because it's such a big number, I'm going to jump significantly. And this, I'm going to make that 100. Let's try it. That's a pretty good graph. Okay. I'm focused on the vertex. Second trace maximum, right? This is the vertex. You want to point to the left. Point to the right. And there it is. So to get the vertex, second trace max. You put down the coordinates, that would round to 46. 52,900. Okay? That gets you a mark for getting that vertex. So yours will be different if your equation is different. I get it. It doesn't matter. Question?
What if you didn't put the
Keystrokes?
equation, but you got the...
But you, oh.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to be nice and say if you got this, then obviously you got, right? Like guessing this is really hard. So I will say okay. But in the future, make sure you put this, for sure, put down your equation. I would find the vertex here, and then one more mark for actually stating the correct answer. The correct answer would be $46 a pass. Okay? They should charge, right? They should charge $46 per pass to maximize. Okay? That's good. It doesn't ask for the revenue, so that's it. We're just going to stick with the 46. Yes, because 800. Oh, okay. Were you thinking 800 passes for $60?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess the wording is a little ambiguous, so we'll just let it go today. If you got $46, I'm happy today. Okay, we skip this. So four marks for this question, right? 1, 1, 1, 1. So this page is worth 4. Sorry, I'm way off here. This page is worth 4 marks. Let's go to the back side. Okay, Miss Yasik was home ill, and students take advantage of the poor sub, right? So the favorite student, Joe number 1, launched an elastic band from a height, right? You're launching from a height of 2.5 feet. So that's not on the ground, okay? It reaches a maximum height of 5.2 feet after 1.2 seconds, 1.7, sorry. That's the vertex. Okay, that is the vertex, so you got that. Sketch a diagram that shows the scenario, label 3 points. You should know by now that why do I need 3 points? Because that's the minimum required for a regression. So we have time in seconds. Doesn't have to be, honestly. It's not about the graph. It's about the points in this case. And then this is height in feet. And so I'm starting at 2.5 feet. And I reach a maximum height right there. And does it say where it lands? That doesn't say that it lands on anything above ground. So we're going to assume this thing continues until it hits the ground. Okay? I'm focusing on this. Then I'm going to say that this is 1.7, 5.2. Very careful. The order matters. Okay? It's time, then height. And then I'm going to focus on the point across my start. Okay? So I know this is at 2.5 again. I will multiply this by 2, okay? That's 3.4 to get this point. So this is how this part is going to go here. If you have these 2 points on there, you get a mark for these 2 points. But this third point is a full mark on its own. So if you miss the fact that it's times 2, or you miss the fact that the height is 2.5, if anything is wrong on this point, you get a -1. Okay, so 2 marks for all 3 points combined. Okay, now calculate the equation, determine the equation of this elastic as a function of time. So we're going to go, I would say it's probably a good idea to go time and height like this, and then just type in these or write down these values. Okay, so you have those 3, you put this into L1, L2. Okay, you're going to go stat, calc, quad reg. No doubt that that's what it is. Okay, grab your calculator. Oops. Clear, 0, 1.7, 3.4, 2.5, I wanted to have this ready, but then the other points on the first page wouldn't have been done. Okay. So I already ran my regression. I'm just going to go copy paste, and there it is. Okay. Negative 0.93x squared plus 3.18x, because it's 176, plus 2.5. That is the equation right there. If you made a mistake up here, right, you probably went -1 if you got this point wrong, then obviously your equation would be different, but I would honor it based on your points up here. State the height of the elastic band after 1.8 seconds. So it's saying if time is 1.8, what is the height? That's what it's asking. We're going to use second, trace, value, and we're going to let x equal to 1.8. First of all, I have to graph this, right? Let's see here. I'm going to use a standard zoom, folks, because I'm fairly confident that I'm sticking to very close to the origin here. And so we're going to go second trace 1, x is equal to 1.8, and it's very close to the vertex, actually. I don't know why I would have picked that point. My bad. It's 5.19 though, right? Y is equal to 5.19 feet. So that would be good enough if you put units next to it. Okay. How long did the elastic band, how long did it take for it to land? Okay. Here's where I need to say something. You get a full mark for this. Listen carefully. Some of you probably made this point here 3.40. I can see that. In which case, this answer should be 3.4. On the test, I will take marks off here as well because it's too easy, right? It's like right there. Technically, you're supposed to use your calculator to find this. So this is basically y2 is equal to 0. Second trace, intersect. Okay, you have to do all of this to figure that out. So, here we go. Second trace 5. I'll go find this one. I don't care about the first one because it's a negative time. So you get 4.06 seconds. That's how long it took for it to land on the ground. That's pretty unrealistic, right? Think about it. Stunk. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lands on the ground, right? It has to be like a gym almost, or more. But that's besides the point. 4.0 seconds it is. State the domain and range of the situation. So here you have to kind of think about it. What's happening? Does this, you have to ask first, I'm starting off the ground first of all. Then I'm going up, reaching a maximum height, and it doesn't tell that it's landing anywhere other than the ground. So that's the domain and range that I need to work with. You know that time goes from 0 to 4.06. This is our domain. Okay, our domain goes from here to here. So let's go ahead and do that. 0, 4.06. Okay, and my range, the lowest it ever gets to is 0 because it hits the ground, and the highest it ever goes to is the vertex, which we know the vertex is 5.2 is the highest y value. So my range should have been 0 to 5.2. Okay? Now, if you made your x-intercept be 3.4, then technically I would expect you to go 0 to 3.4 here to be consistent, right? So an error, if you make one, just be consistent thereafter and you still stand to score a significant amount of marks. Okay? So 1 mark for each year. Anybody do set notation? This would have been 0, right? X 4.06. If you, this is why I'm doing this, okay? I'm gonna give you a little secret. I wrote the quiz and the test, right? And there may be multiple choice questions where I say, hey, is this the correct range for this scenario? You have to at least be able to read this and know if it's the one that belongs to the graph. I'm not gonna force you to use it, but you need to be able to read it and still understand it, okay? Okay, what does this mean? Calculate the roots of this. Anybody remember? X-intercepts. Solve it. How did we solve this? Quadratic formula? Or by graphing? Yeah. Which one do you prefer? I can use this actually. I'm looking at my time. I can use this to review quadratic formula. Can I do that? I think I want to do this. Whether or not you got this, I don't care. Just write it down anyways, the way I'm going to solve this. Okay? So we have 7x squared minus 8x, right, on the left side. On this side, we're going to multiply this out. So you get 5x plus 10. Okay? Then bring everything over to one side. 7x squared minus 8x. The 5x comes over subtracting. The 10 comes over subtracting as well. So you're left with 0 on the other side. That's 7x squared. 8 and 5, they're both negative. That's negative 13x minus 10 is equal to 0. You know your ABCs, right? A is 7. B is negative 13. C is negative 10. And I hope you have a quadratic formula on your study sheet, okay, or the quadratic formula, which goes like this: negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c. All of that, the whole thing is divided by 2a. Oh boy, I'm going to run out of space here. We'll give it a try. Negative b, so b is negative 13, so you plug that in. So these two negatives will turn into a positive. Then you take negative 13 and you square it, that'll be a positive as well, minus 4 times a times c. These two negatives will also turn into a positive. Okay? Then you go 2 times 7. I'll clean this up. This would be 13 positive plus or minus root of, I need to do that part. Let me see if I can make some room here. So you got to go type it in exactly the way you see it. Minus 4 times 7 times negative 10. That's 449 in the root. Divided by 2 times a is just 14. And because of my space, limited space, okay, I'm just going to state both answers here. X1 would be 13 plus root of, sorry, I got this, root of 449, right? You hit enter, divided by 14. So this is 2.44. That's your first x-intercept. Yeah. Where? This? See the equal sign? Like if you go 5 times 2, it's 10. And then this equal sign, like when you bring the 10 over to the left of the equal sign, it changes to a negative. Yeah. Yeah. And then x2. But hey, I would always check on Mr. Dirksen because he's been known to mess up. You divide, you get negative 0.58. Okay, so that's how you use your quadratic formula to find the roots, the x-intercepts. So if you're stranded on an island and you need to find the x-intercepts of a parabola, you don't need you don't need to graph it, right? You can technically find the x-intercepts this way by hand. It'd take you a little while, but I don't know why you would have to, but if your life depends on it, you can use the quadratic formula, right? Question?
How did you solve for x2?
I went, instead of 13 plus root of 449, you go 13 minus, right? Those are the two roots that you get by either adding or subtracting. Okay, so if you got the bonus mark, you get +1. But let's do the rest here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's out of 7, potentially you got 8 out of 7 if you got the roots. I don't care if you use the quadratic formula or not. If you did do you remember the graphing? I haven't covered it a whole lot, but you can type the left-hand side into y1, the right-hand side into y2, and then find where they intersect. And that's also a way of solving this. Okay. So 7 and 4, so 11. All right, so put your name and last name on there.